today's show, the Beautifully Bruised and the CPS show. I am your host, Latrika Jones, and thank you so much for tuning in today. I know there's so many things that you can be doing on this Freedom Friday. Thank God, we woke up on this side of the earth, and just to see another day, it's a blessing. As I'm getting older, I'm realizing more and more that you can't take nothing for granted. So again, I definitely want to say welcome and thank you again for tuning in today's show. Yes, like I said, I just want to come on here, and anybody know when I start the segment that I always like to give credit to where credit is due, which is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him, I wouldn't be here, right? You wouldn't be here, right? So, what better way to show our appreciation and gratitude is to say, God, thank you for another day. I see this as another day of getting things right, another day of new opportunities and things that comes available with a new day. Waking up in the land of the living. Get another chance to get it right, to make better decisions, and hopefully get closer to our goals and our purpose in life, right? So again, that's why I say thank you for tuning in. Thank you, God, for this day. And prayerfully today, today's segment will be something that can be useful for you. Hopefully, it can be helpful with you, whether it be in your CPS case or it be in something in your own personal life that has nothing to do with CPS, but it's just something that you can grow and go from. So again, thank you again for tuning in. Like and subscribe if there's something that, even if you know somebody that's going through something, whether it's a CPS case, whether it's something, that their family, they know somebody that's dealing with CPS, like and subscribe and share these segments, these shows, y'all. That's what it's here for, to help people to be better, including that. I also like to mention that with daddylightsministry.com, which is a website that I have, and I thank God for it because I've always wanted to be able to help people. And God one day planted in my spirit, in my heart, he said, you know what? Write your book, Beautifully Bruising the CPS show. Share what you've been through. Share your story. I've also been a victim to CPS, and I'm not ashamed of it, because sometimes God can take those same scars and turn them into stars. He really can. He can take your pain and turn it into power. So don't be ashamed of what you go through in life. That might be the very thing that God is going to use to help you help others in life, to help you overcome, to help others overcome. So don't never feel ashamed. Don't never feel less than. Don't never feel, that you're not worthy, that you don't matter. Because guess what you do? God is not through writing your story. Okay, do not please put a period where there should be a comma. Because why? You never know how this is going to end up. So I always tell people, even when I was going through my CPS encounter, it's easy to get down. And I do know what that feels like. I know that it's easy to feel sad. It's easy to want to just throw in the towel. But guess what? You got to also think about it's not just about you anymore. It's about your children. Your children are in those foster homes. Your children are in families that they've never seen before. Prayfully, they're the right families, right? Prayfully, they're the families that has integrity, because they are some good foster families. I do know some personally. I do know everybody with CPS isn't bad. And there is a lot of bad apples now. Don't get me wrong now. There are a lot of bad apples, but thankfully, thank God, there are some good people that works for CPS, and they know CPS is a system that's broken. They know that it's a corrupt system. So that's why I do believe God placed certain people in your path. There are reasons why God place certain people in positions that, where there is darkness. Hopefully they'll be that beacon of hope, be that beacon of light, even to, be a light at the end of the tunnel for you, to let you know that, they're there for you. They want you to be reunified back with your children. They want your children to come back home. I only called out the CPS workers that lack integrity, that are petty, they take things personal, and they're in this thing for what? Money, power, and politics. And if you're in that line of that's your heart posture, then prayerfully you'll hopefully be uprooted from working for CPS, because we don't need any more bad people to try to corrupt the system even more and greater than what it already is. And speaking of that, like I said, God placed it on my heart to write my story, to share my story, and hopefully it be some type of encouragement or upliftment to you. I began to journal some of the things that I was going through, and I told God that, Daddy, I'm not sharing that, because I call God my daddy, because it's personal for me. I see him as not just a spiritual being. I see him as my father, because I never knew my earthly father. So I feel like God have always showed me a father figure, and I get excited thinking about him. So that's why I named my organization Daddy Lights Ministry, because Daddy, right? Jesus and lights. I do believe we are supposed to be a light in this dark world, right? We are supposed to be a light in darkness. And ministry is what? Ministry is serving, is helping, is giving people hope. And even with that being said, you can see the name on the bottom of the show today, daddylightsministry.com. If there's any testimonies that you like to share, if there's anything that you're going through you like to share, please email us. We'll be more than glad to hear your story. If you want someone to pray for you, please do so. We'll be more than glad to do that as well, because I know for a fact personally that prayer does changes things, and you can never get too much prayer. So please, like I said, you can go on the website. It shares more detailed information about what Daddy Lights Ministry stands for and what our heart posture is and what we like doing, which is helping and serving people. So check it out if you get time. It will definitely be worth your time. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to just dive right into the segment. Like I say, I see this as Freedom Friday. Hopefully you got a lot. I'm going to say a lot. You might just want to chill this weekend. Okay. You might just want to hang out and Netflix and get you a nice smoothie and just relax, and however form and fashion that might look like. You just might want to enjoy yourself. So you deserve it after a long week of whatever you've been through. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you have a blessed weekend, this coming weekend. Speaking of that, I just want to share, this is something that God has been speaking to me about. Sometimes, you get so lost in giving yourself and trying to help people, being there for them and bending over backwards and doing whatever you can, right, to go out your way. Sometimes you have to learn to put yourself first, not in a selfish, greedy way, but in a way where you learn to have self-care, self-love. And I've had guests on the show before that spoke on how important that is, from different therapists and counselors and people, professionals, that will share that sometimes if it's just 15 minutes a day, take that time out to do you. Take that time out to just, if it's just some quiet time or reading that favorite book or taking that walk or whatever that looks like for you. You need to make time for you, because why? You matter. I think it's so important to have high self-esteem, because there's so much in this world that's going on today that can easily make you discouraged, make you feel sad, make you feel insecure, make you feel like you're not good enough, make you think like nobody wants you. And all that is what the devil's just trying to feed you, things to keep you down, keep you feeling bound or broken. That is a lie. I do believe there's someone for everybody, but you have to be in a healthy place to be able to receive that. It's so much toxic, unhealthy things that's going on in the world. And some things you can't help, right? You might have been prone to growing up in certain environments around certain people, bad relationships that have actually polluted you as well. And I think that's why it's important to take out time for yourself. If it's looking at going to a counselor, even speaking to a therapist or someone that can, give you that positive feedback to kind of give you a chance to speak on what you've been through in life. I love when Isaac, one of the therapists, the counselors that we had here before, it wasn't that you're a problem. It's nothing that maybe that you created yourself. It was something you was exposed to, something that happened to you that changed the way you see life, the way you, treat people and do things. So you have to be very aware and self-conscious even of your actions, because it affects people. If you're not thinking healthy, or if you're not thinking, having healthy thoughts. And that's why I recommend, I thank God for, this show. I think this is another form of therapy. I do. I really, truly do. I think that this is another great form of therapy, even dealing with yourself. Sometimes I think it's good to have a platform like this, the Beautifully Bruised and CPS show. You can log in anytime, 24/7. And sometimes, even if you're going through your darkest days or your darkest nights and the worst challenges and storms you've ever had to face, just logging into this show. Thank God for the producer, Grace. She has a spirit that cares to help, to make sure this platform is in place to be able to call in to share your ideas, your testimonies, or what may be going on with you with your CPS cases, and trying to connect you, whether it's attorney events or whomever that is that's qualified, that knows CPS laws, that are aggressive, and they know what it takes to help you win your children back and get them out of this broken, corrupt system. Thank God there's people in place that care about children, that care about families, things of that nature. So you really can't take people for granted, is basically what I'm saying. So I truly do, not to get too far from the subject, but I do see this as a form of therapy, right? Even I've had guests on that's getting brought on great advice about things that you can do to help yourself as you're going through the process of CPS. Sometimes for me, it was church. For me, it was prayer. For me, it was digging into God and asking God for strength, for wisdom, for discernment, and God gave me the strength. God is faithful. He is consistent. He made me see things within myself I've never witnessed before, I never seen before. And he gave me the strength to keep going, to keep fighting, to not give up. And I tell you, prayer works. I tell you that it changes things for the better. So again, like I said, anytime you feel lost, you feel broken, you feel sad, you feel unloved, you feel unheard, you just want somebody to hear your cry even, you can always, like I say, log in at any time 24/7 to this platform. Even the name on the bottom of the screen, the website, daddylightsministry.com. That's a website that provides a lot of helpful resources. And you can also log in and share some of whatever it is that you're going through. There will be someone there to answer you and to respond back to you, and whatever that might look like. Don't never feel like you're alone. Don't never feel like nobody care, because we do. Okay, that's why we do this show. That's why I have this organization available, because again, it's personal for me. I've been through CPS. I've been through the highs and the lows. I've been through hell and back. That's why God said to write your story. I'm going to use your story, and I'm like, well, God, I don't want, how sometimes you're like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to share that or not. But you know what? That'd be the very thing that you'll be surprised is what's going to set somebody's free. Your transparency, your truth, your darkest moments, your times when you didn't know whether to give up or to keep going. But I've had my grandmother tell me sometimes, she said, you know what? You might give out, but Trika don't never give up. Sometimes it takes words like that. And I remember going to her sometimes and I'd be like, Mama, sometimes I feel like I don't know whether to fall backwards or fall backwards or fall forwards. And why would she tell me do both of them? Whatever it takes to get you through. And guess what? I'm here today. I overcame everything that CPS tried to do to me. Even my attorney said, you know what? There must be a God that's listening to you. She said, because every single thing they have tried to do to you, and it's been a lot of great major things they've tried to do to break your spirit, to destroy you, to hurt you, to get you to give up and just give out. But everything they tried, every single thing was taken down. My God, I just listen. Don't get me started on about how good God is, okay? Because I'll be on here crying when I think about the goodness of who God is. And that's what keeps me going. So God is faithful. I just want to encourage you today and tell you to never, ever give up. Know your self-worth. If you even realize you're going around people that are not, underestimating you, you don't feel valued, you don't feel appreciated. Guess what? That's where you might want to set up some safe boundaries. Don't go around places where you don't feel welcome. You don't feel like you don't feel appreciated. And even if it's not being appreciated, you could tell when people are not treating you how you deserve to be treated. So sometimes it may take that time for you to reevaluate the situation. And sometimes it comes to a time when you might have to love a person from a distance. And that's okay. You have to keep up healthy boundaries for yourself. You got to stay in a good heart posture. You have your children to raise. You have your children to do whatever your caseworker have you doing, whether it's service plans, whether, whatever it may looks like. You have to stay in a good place so you can be good for your children. Why? Because the ultimate goal is to bring your children back home. And if you're not in a good place, how can you be your best self? So again, focus, take this day or this weekend even, and take out that time that's needed for yourself. Know that you matter. Know that self-care is important. Know that you're worth the value that, my mom have always, when she was alive, she would tell me the value of who I am, even when I didn't recognize it. And sometimes if you're not careful, you can get caught up in things and you're settled for things less than. But when you think about the goodness of Jesus and all that he done for you, and how he sacrificed his life for you, and how he loves and cares for you, that should make you want to love yourself. Because why? He see you as value. Why? Because you are valuable. You should know your self-worth. Don't never settle for less. Just self-care, because you matter. You're worth the wait. Sometimes you wonder why things aren't working out. Why what I'm waiting for haven't came yet. Maybe God have to lift up that situation. He has to lift up that person to be the person that's needed for you. That situation need to be the right situation for you. So everything happens for a reason. Don't give up. I want you to stay encouraged. I want you to keep God first. I want you to know that your children are worth the wait. You might be going through a test right now, but guess what? It's not over. Why? Because God is not through writing your story. Okay, your children, I can assure you, when your children return back to you, it's going to be one of the best feelings that you have ever felt in your entire life. Okay, so don't give up. Again, don't put a period where there should be a comma, because God is not through. This is a test. And guess what? If you don't give up, you don't give out, you might need to take a pause. You might need to take a break, but get back in the game. Don't let that defeat you. Don't let that stop you, because your children are worth their parents. They love you. They need you. And my God, you never know who you are raising one day. Sometimes the devil will throw things in your way, bring people in your life to be a distraction for your kids, or a CPS to come into your life. You never know who that child is going to grow up to be one day. I assure you of that. You never know what God is going to do with that child. And maybe that's why the devil is fighting you. Maybe you're going through the process of CPS to make you become a better parent. Some parents have been through it and say, hey, I needed those classes. Hey, I needed that counselor. That actually made me be a better person. And they ended up getting their children once it was completed. Do the job, do the work. It's worth it. Some things they had me asking me to take drug tests. Y'all, I've never done drugs in my entire life. But guess what? I did it. Why? Because I was willing to do whatever it took, whatever it takes to get my children back. And they were returned. And when I tell you, when they were returned, they perception of me was totally different. So sometimes when people see that you are somebody that is determined, they see that you are driven, they see that you won't give up. They see that, longevity, you're not nobody just overnight. You're willing to do what it takes. You're willing to take the ride. You're willing to not give up for your kids. People look at you differently. They see that oh my God, she is determined. I've had opportunity just based off of that. You're driven. You refuse to take no for an answer. And sometimes when people see that, hey, I can't shake this person. There's something about this person. So God will give you the strength if you keep God first. Keep fighting for your children. Know that you are worth the wait. Know your value. Don't underestimate yourself, okay? And again, like and subscribe to this channel. It's many different stories that share 24/7. Chime in. I'm sure it's going to be something that hopefully that would uplift you, that encourage you, to give you the strength to keep going. I know for me, it was God. My faith in God, he gave me the strength to endure, and to not only endure, but overcome every single thing that the devil has stolen from me, and have tried to take away from me. But God is a restorer. He is a redeemer. So just keep the faith, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how challenging or how dark it may seem. It is not over yet, okay? The best is still yet to come. So again, keep God first. Don't never, ever give up fighting for your children. Tune into this platform. There is a lot of great stories that's being shared 24/7. Like and subscribe. If you need prayer, you need someone to just kind of channel out what you're dealing with, and you don't know how to talk to somebody about it, or it's something else that you just want to talk about, you can always log onto the website at the bottom of the screen, daddylightsministry.com. That's what we're here for. So again, have a blessed weekend. Stay encouraged. Keep God first. I am your host, Latrika Jones. And again, your story is not done being written. CPS is only a test. You might endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning if you don't give up. Your children are worth fighting for. So have a blessed weekend. Thank you for tuning in and keep